Welcome back to another innovation review. Today, we're going to be taking a look back at the Ecotric Vortex. Alright guys, so I am here with also Mitch again, and we're going to be talking about some of the mods that he's made to the Ecotric Vortex. As I implied in the beginning, it doesn't quite look like the same bike as we left over here. So also, Mitch, would you mind walking us through some of the changes that you made to it?
I made it more BMX friendly. I put the high-rise bars on it, the box BMX bars on it, put different cranks on it just to make it a little bit more productive when you were pedaling and stuff, and I had to do a little bit more tuning. I got rid of a lot of politics on the battery pack because it was pretty heavy and pretty big. And then I actually put a little bit more powerful controller in it so that it had a little bit more torque, a little bit more voltage.
Well, and it doesn't look any different. So it's the same box. You just replaced the control on the inside.
Different controller inside. Okay. It's also a 48-volt system now instead of a 36-volt system.
Okay.
So yeah, I kind of upgraded the power on it a little bit too because it was a little bit slow for traffic. So I kind of did some changes on that too. So.
Okay, so one of the other things that I noticed on here is I think this had a twist throttle when we got it. So now we've got this thumb throttle. Is there some reason you like thumb throttles over twist throttles, personal preference, or do you see that there's a benefit to the thumb throttles over twist throttles?
You got better control with a thumb than you do a twist, and you don't have to turn loose your grip on the bars. You have better control when you're using a thumb throttle over a twist. Anytime you use a twist, it kind of distorts your wrist, so you lose control of your hand when you're trying to do it. And thumb throttles give you a better grip on the bars, so you got better control. Because you are going faster on electric bikes, so you need all the control you can get. So.
Okay, and then, so it looks like the shifter on here is the same. Is the derailleur also the same?
Yes, it is stock.
Okay, so we got that small turning, and then the brakes are different. Those are Tektro brake calipers.
Yeah, I put a little bit better brake calipers on it, and then Tektro disc on it too, because they were a little bit better than what was on your stock. So.
Okay, so you upgraded the calipers and also the discs.
Yeah, and the levers, they're all Tektro.
Okay, very cool. And so it really does look like a different bike. I know the first time I saw it, you had mentioned something. I was like, oh yeah, how's the the Vortex? And then you brought me this bike, and I was like, well, no, where's the Vortex? So it really did change the entire vibe of it, because beforehand we had those, I believe you called them moose bars.
Yeah, the moose bars.
Kind of like the straight bar, very mountain bike sort of style to them.
And on your head.
Yeah. And then with these ones, it really changes the whole vibe of the bike. And so these are the box handlebars up here in the front?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're the old guy bars, the box bars.
Okay. And what do those run you?
About $80.
Okay. And then when we were talking about the battery earlier, you'd mentioned something about removing the politics. Can you, what does that mean? Like for people who don't know what that means?
Any weight that you don't necessarily need on the battery pack, you can get rid of it. Any wiring, any plastics, anything else that's going to give you less weight on an electric bike is always a good thing. So I get rid of the politics. And like I said, I actually did change this from a 36 to a 48-volt pack. So that means it's faster. Because it comes out stock 36 volts, which is good for cruising in the neighborhood and doing, back roads and stuff like that. But if you're trying to get out in traffic a little bit and do a little bit more commute with traffic, you need more speed and you need more power. So that's why I upgraded it to 48 volts. And I took the plastic casing off the battery and did some different stuff to it to make it a little bit lighter.
Okay, so as far as your personal use and kind of what you intend to do with the bike, is there anything you're looking at upgrading in the future, or you kind of got it where you want at this point?
I may change out the front fork on it eventually, because I get a little bit straighter fork on it and give it a little bit more responsive behavior. But I think other than that, it's pretty much going to stay the way it is, because it's a fun bike to ride. So.
Okay, so if anybody is looking to maybe pick up this bike with that sort of idea in mind, like it is a little bit of a lower end bike, but there's some components that I want to upgrade. Let's say if they didn't have the electrical expertise to change out the battery, so let's say we still got a 36-volt battery on here, we'll keep that the same. What are the first, 1 to 2, maybe 3 things that people should probably look at upgrading to make their ride either a little bit more powerful, a little bit safer, a little bit different? Like, what would you recommend that people would look at so they can start budgeting for that?
The bars and the brakes are probably the biggest thing for comfort and safety. If you leave the speed and everything else the same and all the other stuff stock, the bars, and pretty much anybody can do the bars and the brakes. And I would say probably that would be the biggest factor I would do is put some upright bars on it, because the bars and stem are pretty low on this bike, and it's a little uncomfortable when you ride it. So if you're looking for something you can just go beach cruise or neighborhood cruise, the bars and the brakes would be the thing that I would, and the seat could be a little bit better quality too. It's a little bit thin seat whenever you get it, so the seat, I put a better Terry seat on there, which made it a lot more comfortable ride.
Okay, and those are all things that are generally people could do. They can watch a YouTube video. They can kind of figure that out.
YouTube's got all kinds of help for that. So.
Very cool. Well, also, Mitch, I appreciate you stopping by and letting us look at this bike, what you've done to it. It looks really cool. Definitely has a different vibe to it. And if you do make any sort of other big modifications in the future, maybe we'll check back in and see what you're doing with it.
Cool.
Okay, all right, guys, that's going to do it for our re-review, our checking up on the Ecotric Vortex. If you guys got any questions for us, please let us know down in the comments. I love talking to you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.